Good morning. Hope you're all doing good on Monday morning. It's Red Rackham here with the Berman Sermon. Going to do some breakfast shows this week. So yeah, nice music, good vibes, positivity. Hope you're all doing good out there.
It's the same old story. Everybody's looking for glory. Yeah. Let the dollar circulate. Oh, it's gonna circulate.
Big shouts to everyone tuned in. Shouts to George. He says here again. Good morning, Danny. Good morning, George. Get those messages in. Get those shout outs in. Tell me where you are. If you want me to discuss a topic, I'm happy to try. If you want me to shut up. Oh, got Jay Arriagada in the house. He says, morning, Berman. It's only 2 or 3 people that call me Berman. James Shelton from Detroit is one of them. He's like, hey, Berman. Shouts to Ant Plate. Shouts to Rosa Granger. Rosa, you've tuned in. I can't believe it. Every time I did a club event in Bristol, Rosa would be like, yeah, I'm really going to come. And then she'd be like, oh, I'm away. So I've got her finally. And yeah, I'm wearing my Ecstasy t-shirt today in solidarity to all the brothers and sisters out there who can't go out clubbing. Shouts to Mr. Brannigan. Hope you're all doing good. Okay, so that was Dollar by Steve Spacek, produced by the late great Jay Dilla, off Steve Spacek's. I can't remember what the name of his album was. I think it was something to do with colour or something. But yeah, I've got the album here actually. I'm going to stick something on in a minute from the album. But I thought I'd play the 12 of Dollar just for high fidelity, extra fidelity. And that's some wrong speed business there. Starting you off like that. But yeah, it wasn't lost on me what a pedant I am. I was like, yeah, I'll bring the Steve Spacek album. I'll play Dollar. And then I was like, no, I'll play the 12 because it's better sound quality on this crappy stream.
When I feel like I don't know how, you told me that because of you I'm much better now. Yeah, it's funny, cause I can't even fight.
Turn it up.
The pimp in me left when I met you. mistakes, cause I'm just an average man. You took me back, but you made me pay for that shit. But I don't care, cause I give up everything I have for a good girl.
Just going to do my Instagram story. I've not done it for ages. I've just been focusing on the old restream, getting complacent and thinking, well, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on... actually, I could be on Instagram as well. That's the annoying thing. I just have to set my phone up and do a separate stream. I keep forgetting to do it. I guess I'll do that tomorrow. Exciting stuff, eh, folks? How can I be everywhere? Which is basically the current state of most things, isn't it? How can I be everywhere? Everywhere yet nowhere. So yeah, today was supposed to be a breakfast show, but I was out running, so I kind of missed it a bit, to be honest. About sort of 7 a.m, I was like, yeah, if I go out running now, then I'll be back and I can do the show at 8:30. But I got back from running at 8:30, I kind of flopped it. Then I had breakfast. Then I just sat downstairs for a bit, just chilling. Then I had a shower, you know. You have to be up early if you want to do a breakfast show, I reckon. But yeah, tomorrow I'm not going to run, so maybe tomorrow I can do it a little bit earlier.
Ready to fly on the street.
So yeah, big shouts to everyone who's tuned in. Great to have you here with me. Just want to send a massive shout out to the 4 people watching on Twitter. Twitter's always the lowest performing one, so I'm so grateful. I think for every 1 Twitter listener, it's the equivalent of 10 listeners on Facebook or Twitch. So yeah, big shouts to the Twitter crew. Yo, 4 people. Woo! Okay, it just went down to 2 listeners. Maybe I should shut up about it. Yeah, Everywhere But Nowhere, my new album. Great album. I'm always thinking of good album titles. Jay Arriagada says he's going to nick it for a track title. Excuse me. Yeah, I suck at titles too. I'm trying to think of something. It's quite difficult. Like, I've got a track called Train, right? And Train is such a crap title for a track, isn't it? Someone suggested I call it Train of Thought. But yeah, it's easy to come up with track titles when you're not trying to. But yeah, Everywhere But Nowhere sounds like sort of like a kind of, like almost like a love song, but like a depressing one. The opposite of like I'm everywhere or I feel everywhere. So yeah, morning vibes with me, Red Rackham, yeah. Could be like Fritz Wentink and just call them like Barry 1, Barry 2, or he did Mice, Mouse and Mices or something. No, Mouse, Mice and Mices, or yeah. But yeah, track titles. I guess if you think about it, if it doesn't really have a proper title, that kind of implies that the music has no deeper meaning, which, you know, with dance music, I suppose you could argue that what tracks do have a deep meaning because they're just designed for people to sort of dance and feel psychedelic or whatever. I don't know. But I've had success by, you know, some of my tracks have been successful partly because of the track title. Really. Like, you know, the track title really helped. If you call it something mad, like Tomato Pope, I called it that because the sample was saying like Tomato Po. Tomato Po. But I just thought Tomato Pope, and you know, people remember that, it's catchy. But it's sad that the track title's important nowadays, isn't it? If you think about it, it's like, do you really listen to music because of the track title? I think it says more about how people find music nowadays. They're not looking for music, they're looking for some kind of engagement, some kind of like fancy shit, you know? So yeah, this morning I'm feeling in a kind of hip-hop bouncy soul mood. So yeah, hope you are too. And yeah, big shout-outs to all the people who've given me some, like, donations. I couldn't believe it. Had some pretty reasonable amounts over the weekend. Crazy, eh? Almost feels like people think that you're doing a job or something. You know? So yeah, huge shouts to the benevolent people with deep pockets. That is super appreciated. I spent it all on Discogs yesterday night. Well, not all of it, but I went crazy on Discogs yesterday. Bought loads of like really shady jazz funk, but I can't wait, you know. Right into that sort of 80s kind of slightly cheesy, but there's a bit too much saxophone sometimes, I have to say, in them. I'm not really sure about the whole big saxophone vibe, but yeah, I love the I love it. I love the sort of Jeff Lorber kind of vibe. Do you know Jeff Lorber? Look back and remember, that kind of vibe. By the way, folks, what do you think of face tattoos? Because I'm noticing them just becoming more and more common. And yeah, I mean, I just think, man, like, if you're ever going to regret a tattoo, it's going to be a face tattoo, right? Even if it's just something like a little teardrop or something, which I guess teardrop usually means you've actually killed somebody, I think, in jail. But yeah, like, I would love to get a tattoo because I don't have one, right? And I've always thought if you don't have a tattoo, it's kind of cool to get one because it's like sort of a bit edgy, pushing it a bit. But I think if I was going to get one, I'd definitely just get one on my arm. I think I'd get my wrist done or something, I don't know. But imagine the only tattoo you get is on your face. That is hardcore. Imagine. Just get a big fucking massive tattoo on your face and be like, yeah, it's the only tattoo I've got. I think if you're going to do this kind of thing, you've got to go in hard, you know?
So much I can't even wear a hat, and it's like this, and it's like that, and check it out, yo. It's like this, and it's like that, and I'm only staring cause you're so fat, and I noticed as soon as you walked up in the place, and can't blame a man for having good taste, can you? That ain't fair, and it's not right, and please turn around or I'll be staring all night, and so many men, and they wanna play, and they all wanna get their name up in your date planner. I swear, even if it's
should I get a face tattoo?
the only way,
Well, some women, they get makeup tattooed on them. Did you know that? They get like their eyebrows tattooed, or they get their lips tattooed red so they don't have to put lipstick on every day and shit. Wow. That's some hardcore shit, isn't it?
Unless you're just horny and want to ride a pony, you'd rather be.
And you know what made me think about face tattoos? I just saw an Instagram story of someone, I'm not going to say who it is, and they appear to have, it's a girl, and she appears to have face tattoos. Maybe it's false, but I don't know if it is. I think it might be real. Wow. Must be some pretty heavy parties when you're in your 20s. When I was young, it was kind of like, oh, who's going to go to the shops to get the booze when the off-license opened at like 11 in the morning? Imagine nowadays, it's going to be like literally them getting a tattoo gun out and be like, right, who's going to get their face tattooed when we're off our tits? You know, I think being young nowadays must be tough.
Somebody cares enough to tell me this stuff, and hey yo, you can either dance and check the rhyme later or hear me out now. A lot of these ballers at the plate don't care if they fair or they fat.
Yeah, Andy, I'm not against tattoos at all. Big shouts to Andy Zooty, by the way, tuned in all the way from Sydney in Australia. Miss you guys. By the way, Andy, while I've got you on here, there's been a few messages from people from Sydney asking when I'm going to play racket again. And I explained that it's not up to me, but just putting it out there does seem to be a little bit of demand, you know. I know that obviously you guys probably aren't going to do any club events till next year. Just want to chuck my hat in the ring, you know. It was good the last time. Although the after party, the first time I played for you guys, I think I got a little bit carried away at the after party, I remember. That was 2011, I've evolved, you know.
Don't you ever let the bullshit line. If you forget, I'll be quick to remind. It's like this, Anna. This is a message to my homegirl, Miss Anna. She's so fly, Anna. I can't let nobody desecrate my Anna. I'm not your man, Anna.
Yeah, Mr. Brannigan says, problem with tattoos is, once you get one, then you will want more. I started with just one and now I have 6. Yeah, I totally get that. My wife has quite a lot of tattoos, and it's obviously an addiction, you know. I think maybe the pain as well, because it's kind of like a justifiable form of self-harm, isn't it, really? I mean, if you just sat there and poked a needle in your arm again and again and again, people would be like sending you off, you know, to the asylum. But if you get a picture drawn while you're getting a needle poked in your arm again and again, that's fine. Thank you, Andy Zooty. You know, look, mate, you know, I just love you guys. I love the night is amazing. And I think after all my years in Berlin, I think I'm even better and I'm bigger and better than I used to be. So I'd love to come back and try, you know, Berman 2.5 or whatever. But yeah, big shouts to everyone tuned in. And that is off a Japanese album, the sample. I've actually got it. It's great when you buy a jazz funk album and then you put like the last track on the B-side and you're like, oh, that's where a Gang Starr got it from. Love that.
Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up.
Give me your love. Give me your love.
That glow.
Give me your love. Give me your love. Give me your love.
That sunshine right
Give me
there.
your love. Give me your love. Give me your love.
Soft with it. Without a
Give me
doubt.
your love. Give me your love.
Let's get the
Give me
shine
your
back, baby.
love.
This is how we got it. We're only them cats that's about that paper can spot it. Everything we do is star-studded. I feel that love, though my other side is cold-blooded. First of all, you know why I plays for keeps. I'm for the ladies, but I got something else for you freaks. Post up, let me get a close-up. It blows up, just to let you be the one to get a toast up. Bang it out and win, sophisticated thug vibe I'm in. Any stress right now is a sin. Come see us finish. Anybody setting that tone like they wanna interrupt business? Pete rockin', CL smooths. All they do is win awards and attract broads and make sound scan moves when it shine on me. We go hard like how we was raised to be. Come on, you know I feel that love in the streets and steady mobbing. Everything we driving is foreign in the life you see.
Shine on me.
Come on, you know we need that love in the family and in the hood till all my people is good. You can never take that.
So you went out for a run today. I'm doing this from the Couch to 5K app, produced by the NHS in the UK. It's amazing. I tell you, I'm really enjoying it. Today it was run for 90 seconds, walk for 2 minutes, fast. Do that 5 times with a 5-minute walk either side. Obviously for a slob like me, that's kind of a nice, easy way in, you know. But after 2 months, I'm going to be running for half an hour, so I'm excited. It's incremental. I know I can do it. It's great. I love being out in the park. Awesome.
The chain of this anchor with a hellified lawyer and a hellified accountant, a hellified banker. I feel that love in the streets and steady mobbing. Everything we driving is foreign in the life you see. You know we need that love in the family and in the hood till all my people is good. You can never take that. Hey yo, Pete Rock, flip the joint up and just let it shine on me. You heard me? Put the wolves right on it. Oh, just because I don't need it don't mean I don't want it. They can watch us airing it out. We game for all that. Baby, call that. Even feeling they can test my power. Try to capture that moment. Be the best that hour. Anyway, but lose it can get done. What you want, a touchdown, a knockout, or the home run? You got big earners on this team. Never running the same place. Always switching up the scheme. When them kids get it from me, copping and crushing. So to give them they shine was nothing. I'm a generous man within reason. A low-key sharp look at built for any season. So when the dawn put it down, you know how Pete and CL came and snatched up all that dough. I feel that love in the streets and steady mobbing. Everything we driving is for.
So yeah, I hope the music's okay for everybody. If you've got anything you want to hear, any kind of morning vibes, if this is a bit too hardcore for you, let me know. Got a house full of records. Always happy to try and play something people want to hear, as long as it's not like, you know, Aqua Barbie Girl or something. So yeah, Red Rackham, it's the Berman Sermon morning vibes. Although it must be the evening in Sydney, where Zooty is. Okay, Jay Ariagada says, always down for Joe Clausel. I do have some Joe Clausel downstairs. Although it might be a little bit too spiritual for this time in the morning. I'm not sure if it's really morning music, is it? Do you associate Joe Clausel with the morning? I don't. I associate him with, like, bowing to the altar of house music. But that's just me. Okay. So I'm just looking at what the Andy Zooty says. Deep, dirty D&B or house. Couple of beers in, you need a jog in the morning. Like, yeah, so the problem for Andy's in Sydney, so I guess he's more kind of on that evening vibe, you know. But yeah, I'll probably stick a bit of house on in a bit, I reckon. But yeah, I'm going to stick with a little bit of the hip-hop soul stuff for now. Give me a sec.
Y'all need to grow up.
But nah, I take second place, gnarly, I can't.
Sorry, you can't read the track titles on this album because they're all written, you know, it's handwritten track titles. Looks nice, but you can't actually bloody read the titles. But yeah, this is the one I wanted to play. Big shouts to everyone tuned in.
I see the beat sweat cause the heat that we let go. It's like the sun as it reflects. Like tropical oceans in slow motions. We beat journey on a yacht, glasses up toasting. This is a celebration. Ain't talking no dough, ain't no conversations. And straight business, Paul. Cash tripping cause my vision is all. Well then get on a level, let's go. Come on, let's go. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. We on a beat journey, let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Stop the hula talk.
Let's go.
This whole thing be so banging. Awkward and strange, my brain be not tame. Yo, I tweak these beats with no training. Mr. JJ and Doom be my main man. In the studio, we be the trio. All up the one rolled up like a burrito. With jalapenos, super blazing. Let my man Just slamming dudes tracing like Jordan. So important to keep it fresh like cabbage and greens. We established, say peep out status is way beyond average. If you don't believe me, come with me, let's go. For real, let's go. Let me show you. Yeah, for real, dude.
Shouts to DJ FA Raw AY. Don't know how to say your name exactly, but he says, "What up?" He or she could be a girl, I guess. When you see DJ and you think it's a guy, that's kind of sexist, isn't it? Yo, what up?
He's out of stock, no socks, no time. Beatbox in a to-go box, no rhyme. Cross that bridge when we get to it. Made a bet to do it, even if we have to go off cassette to it. So be it. The flow is no Chinese secret. No MC speaking like the OG freaking, leaking. Still bought it for the cover art. Brother smart enough to break a lover's heart. Kid or #1 chart lid. Watch when the summer start. What the bumper clot rocked it. He said a hot hit, just listen. Whoever tried to diss him only end up with eyes missing. Married to the cash to the death. Float on like Larry, go last. Carry your ass, let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. What's your major malfunction, folks? Flows a carbon based life form. Leave your favorite rapper straining, cream master all shrunken. I just let them hang though. Say though what we make though, but we don't play dough. No money, no show for show is told by Plato. Knowledge is the light that illuminates your cave. When you see a player shining, baby, just give a wave. Rappers need to step aside, they slipping like a slip and slide. Trying my patience, what's the verdict?
See, I'd like to go to a club like hip hop that was like this. Imagine like intense kind of like club hip hop.
Let's go, let them know. Tell me who gon' come harder. It gets no harder than a martyr, or maybe Sid Arthur.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Get on the level, let's go. Yeah, I said get on the level, let's go. Wanna hit some ill flows, so let's go. We about to take control, so let's go. We on a beat journey, let's go. It's time to space boogie, let's go. If y'all coming with me, let's go.
So this is the Shape of Broad Minds album, which came out on Lex, which is Warp's hip-hop label, or was Warp's hip-hop label. And it's Gennaro Jarrell and a couple of other guys. If you ever get the chance to check out Gennaro Jarrell, as in Rio de Janeiro, I think that's the same spelling. Bloody hell. The guy is amazing. He's got amazing beats and he's a great rapper. The complete package, really, I would say. Criminally slept on, as they say in hip-hop. Like most good music, you know, no one notices because it's they're focusing on the music rather than on the bullshit hype.
Oh, baby. Space Boogie.
Man, we gotta make changes. Man, we gotta make changes. We gotta make changes.
I'm proud of my t-shirt that says ecstasy on it. It's the sort of t-shirt. I wish there was some party that I could go and wear it on and people would be like, hey, your t-shirt says ecstasy on it. That's so cool, man. Oh, yeah. That's why I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
I think any kind of t-shirt or song that has ecstasy in it, slightly cynical, you know?
My life, stressed from the days of now at times. Me, I'm one of my best road dogs, kind of falling out, but I be upsteady trying to do the right thing, trying to be unconditional, but you really ain't hearing me, and that's what makes it difficult. But life goes on, right, homie? Time keeps on ticking like parasites on dogs. They'll be looking at this pause and don't even know the victim. Flick them off, the cats keep tripping, take them out of sight.
Unfortunately, I messed up the neck, as you can see, because the first time I wore it, right, I spilt food on it, and my wife, being the super clean freak that she is, she was like, put a napkin in, you know, and got some kitchen roll. So I put the napkin in and it bloody stretched the neck. You wouldn't believe the amount of things that get damaged or broken in this house because of them being cleaned. So yeah, it's annoying, man. The neck got stretched on it. Just does my head in every time.
Elements bleeding black blood through the cracks of the soul quaking. The static stays constant energy.
But maybe it's fitting because, you know, you can have a t-shirt of ecstasy on it. It can't be too perfect, can it?
Pierce through the core for the pure plasma platelets. Who got that ice beyond cool slick?
Big shouts to Homer Malla, tuned in from Sydney as well. Got the Sydney crew in the house. Yo!
Absorb through your pores in these concrete walls. The broken glass look like constellation, but the death smell like sanitation. On the playground where the kids play, another body lay, drifting through the days and the days like a junkie in the haze. It's prey in the haze, like it's prey in the haze, like it's prey in the haze.
Yeah, keep it moving over there. Don't be talking all that bump around here. That's right, yeah. We gotta make changes, is that clear? We gotta make changes, keep it moving over there. Don't be talking all that bump around here. That's right, yeah. We gotta make changes, hope that's clear. We gotta make changes.
Proper good album, this. Shape of Broad Minds. You need this. You need this.
Shape of broad minds, been grinding for a long time. Gotta get my shine, watch me blur your eye, y'all. Niggas in the back, rooftop, move out the way while I switch them lanes. Got an exotic game that be off the chain. She saying, we saying,
Keep it moving over there. Don't be talking all that bump around here. That's right, yeah. We gotta make changes, is that clear? We gotta make changes, keep it moving over there. Don't be talking all that bump around here. That's right, yeah. We gotta make changes, hope that's clear.
So yeah, I'm in a wonky hip hop mood today, definitely.
I think the
Oh yeah, and folks, I now have over 200 followers on Twitch. Woo! That's not bad. A couple of months. So based on that ratio, I should have 1,000 followers in 10 months. Maybe it'll go up, you know? So yeah, if anyone's tuned in from Twitter or Facebook, if you go to twitch.tv/red_Rackham, you can follow and subscribe there. It would make me very... Oh! Rosa Granger's just followed me. See? So yeah, it would make me very happy. So happy. Music take over. Future music, that's what we are. That future music. Yes, I'm using OBS to stream. I love it the way Jay Ariagada calls me Berman. That's not my first name, mate. Google me. Yeah, I'm using OBS. I'd like to use Streamlabs. I've got that as well, but it's always been a bit shady sometimes, you know, Streamlabs, when I've done the streams. I've done it once with Streamlabs. It's got better features, I believe. Okay, J.R.E. Agada says, I just like Berman. Fair enough. I should add more labels to my channel. Please explain. Maybe you could do a whisper. Yeah. I've been checking out Streamlabs. I am using it for some stuff. Believe it or not. Okay, big tune alert. Four Heroes version of Vera Cruz on Far Out Recordings. Now this is a proper one. This is a belter. And I was surprised to find out it's actually Mark Mack. It wasn't Digo. It was Mark Mack on his own. I think by this point they were probably working separately. Check this out. Proper. See, I love this kind of stuff. It just gives me such a good feeling, you know? It's the Berman Sermon with me, Red Rackham. Your daily dose of amazing music and chat. Good vibes. Big shouts to everyone tuned in on Facebook, on Twitch, on Twitter, possibly even on YouTube. Big shouts to Tim Wilderspin, aka Tim Esser. Great to have you tuned in, sir. We need to do some socially distancing table tennis or walking or something. Can you play tennis, Tim? I really want to join the local tennis club. It's nearby. If it's £35 for a family membership, which means I can play for all year for £35. I mean, isn't that amazing? So yeah, I'm right up for it. I'm going to get my Roger Federer Wilson racket set, complete with balls. I've got it all planned out. One thing I'd say about the lockdown, which I'm really enjoying, is it's great getting to buy all this stuff online, you know, just like, oh, I'll choose something, you know. I'm enjoying that aspect of it, definitely. I like buying things, but I like trying to get it right, I guess because I'm a perfectionist, you know. I really like that kind of thing of like looking at loads of different stuff, trying to work out what has the best features, pick the one you want, then try and find it for the cheapest price that you can get it, then get it, and then be like, oh, this is so good, this thing that I've bought, aren't I amazing? I love that. That's like my favourite process in life, I think. What have you all been buying recently? Let me know. Has anyone else been buying anything online? I bought loads of music yesterday on Discogs. I bought 19 records yesterday. Recent purchases have included a radio mic stand. I bought a track pump, like a really nice bicycle pump. And for my wife's birthday, I bought loads of different types of salt. I bought Epsom salt. I bought Himalaya salt. I bought dried flowers, essential oils, and all that, and I made like homemade bath salts, which actually works really well, believe it or not. Yeah, so I've been buying a lot of stuff recently. I enjoy it. Shouts to Funky Town. Hello, sir. Or madam. I never know what... It's interesting. I always say sir because I think 95% of the people listening are men. Okay, Funky Town says, buying a pair of runners and some bike gear. Yeah! Yeah, I've got the same running shoes for years, actually. I've got some Asics, but they're pretty good, you know? But yeah, I'm enjoying running in the park as well. It's going to get harder though soon. I mean, I'm doing the old, you know, run for 90 seconds, walk for 2 minutes thing right now, and it's going to get a lot harder, let's face it. Andy Zuti says, haha, I bought 4 kilograms of jerky after a few red wines. Bring your tennis racket next time. Love tennis. Well, I'd love to get back to Australia, Andy. Really, I would. But it's really difficult unless I do a tour. And it seems like, to be honest, it would be easier for me to just organise my own tour, because every time I try and do a tour with some actual company, it doesn't really seem to... There always seems to be interest from promoters, but then when I get someone to coordinate it, it doesn't seem to happen. Yet, if I do it myself, I could totally make it happen. But the problem is, if you do it yourself, then you've got to pay the, you know, £1,500 on the flights and everything. You've got to take all that risk yourself. which I quite enjoy not doing these days, you know. So Funky Town, are you tuned in from Sydney as well then? Seems like we've got 3 people. We've got Hober Mallow in from Sydney as well. So yeah, I'm just chatting to my friend Christopher Rao on Facebook, forgive me, but we were talking about, you know, buying stuff, records and that. And I mean, like, honestly, like, I'm so enjoying buying records. I've been buying like quite a lot of techno, and I'm just not really, you know, I'm not like I've got quite a lot of techno, but I mean, I don't class myself as a techno DJ. And it feels so fun, you know, to do. I've been doing these techno sets because people have been asking me to do live streams for them, and I'm like, yeah, cool, I'll do it, but I want to do a techno set because it's a great opportunity because there's no dance floor, and if they're asking you to do a live stream, they just kind of have to accept what you give them. So I've really enjoyed that, you know. It's a different skill though, I have to say, like, because I don't really know the records that well because I don't sit and listen to techno all day. So it's been a challenge sometimes, I have to say. But yeah, also been really enjoying broken beat and jazz funk again. Moving back to the UK, it definitely changed my horizons. Made me listen to music a lot more again. Berlin was great, but because there was always so much stuff to do in Berlin, I never listened to music. Whereas I think the UK, it's a bit more boring, you know, to be respectful. So there's not as many distractions, so you can get back into music. Maybe that's not a bad thing at my age. Hello, Marcus. Okay, so Funky Town is an old mad racketeer. Great! You can petition Andy and Simon and Ken to bring me back. Yeah! Start it now. Okay, Jay Arriagada says, I'll share my upcoming release on Lossless techno stuff. Okay, great. I've heard of Lossless, I believe. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd really appreciate WAVs or a vinyl copy. Okay, Mr. Brannigan says, if you get a chance, there was an awesome stream late Saturday night on Mocha Detroit Twitch stream. Derek Carter and Juan Atkins chatting for the best part of 3 hours, discussed Kraftwerk, Indian techno, and why Detroit attracts such great electronic music. That sounds really interesting. Always interested to hear what Magic Juan has to say. Big shouts to Julio, tuned in from Bali. Hello, sir. I have to get back to Bali as well. When I come back to Australia, I'm definitely going to try and go to Bali as well. I don't really miss the travelling, but I miss the people, if that makes sense. It's annoying not to be able to see the people, you know, that I used to see when I was moving all the time. Let's check some Dame Funk. I'm just taking the piss, Andy, come on. Kinda. Yeah, just want to send massive props to everyone tuned in. Great to have you here. It's the Berman Sermon. Yeah. Okay, DJ Asterix says, me too, been listening to lots of different stuff these last few weeks, thinking of delving into some of my drum and bass vinyls from the 90s. Yeah, I did a mix recently. I don't know if you heard it, Asterix, but I did a mix, like a live stream thing, and it was all old drum and bass. And again, that was quite challenging for me because I've not DJed with drum and bass since like 2000, but I did it. It's on my SoundCloud if anyone's interested. But yeah, I've got loads of old drum and bass, but unfortunately, I think most of it's rubbish. My taste doesn't match what my taste is now, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's on my SoundCloud, Chris. Yeah, it's alright. It's pretty tasteful. I got a few ID requests for a track which is on Saigon, which was a sub-label of No U-Turn. It's actually by Nico and someone else, and I associate Nico with like Dom and Roland style hardstep. But this is like a really nice mellow tune. It's called That's Cool, which is obviously a pun on a DAT recorder. But yeah, really nice tune that. That's Cool on Saigon. I can't remember the name of the artist. Yeah, this is nice. This is G-Force and Seiji together. G-Force is, of course, Mark Force. I actually made some music with Mark before Christmas in the UK. I guess I say in the UK, I forget I live in the UK now. But yeah, we made a track, or we started making a track together, and it was actually going really well. Yeah, I should do more work on it, really. Great thing about moving back was it meant I could get in the studio with some really cool people. And Ashley Beadle, we had a chat on my show a few weeks ago. Yeah, me and him are definitely going to get in the studio once the old coronavirus is over, I think. We might have to do it remotely at this rate. But he's someone that I definitely want to make some tunes with. Big shouts to Max Fader, tuned in from Paris, aka S3A. He's got a great record coming out soon on Synthy's label, Crystal Grooves 803, I think it's called, something like that. Played some stuff on my show a couple of days ago. Okay, Funky Town says, is the UK getting the shits with Boris yet? What do you mean by the shits? Do you mean are we getting pissed off with him, or are we getting nervous, or I think everyone's just kind of given up, to be honest. A bit like with Trump, you've just got to be like, you resign to your fate, really. I really hope though that the UK government gets us a spanking from, you know, for their performance, because it just seems like again and again and again there's just more and more things that are not being done right, and they're handing out these contracts obviously to their friends' companies. You know, there's all these like private contracts, like for example the track and trace app to help them, you know, keep track of people who've got coronavirus. They've totally screwed that up. Just come out today. They screwed up the PPE. They sent a plane to Turkey, which was supposed to get PPE, and it was in Turkey for days waiting for the PPE. And then when they finally got the PPE, brought it back to the UK, none of it was suitable because it was being made by a company that used to make sports clothes in Turkey. I mean, things like that. I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it, that the UK government is just you know, I don't know, it's incompetent, you know, serially incompetent. They don't care, do they? They're just happy to kind of, I think they just want to be in the private members clubs, you know, drinking like, you know, high grade single malt and, you know, having their kind of fans. I mean, to be honest, if you put a load of toffs in charge of the country, I mean, yeah, and surprise, surprise, they don't care about normal people. I mean, Keir Starmer seems to have there's some potential there. I hope he's legit. You know, hope he's real. They're starting to do a lot of hatchet job stories on him. So that's usually a sign that there's some fear when they start doing these kind of awful kind of press exposés about... I mean, it's so funny. They did the one about him buying land near his parents' house for a donkey sanctuary because his mum was so chronically ill that she, you know, couldn't see the donkeys anymore. And they turned it into some kind of, you know, he's a millionaire landowner, and you know, he's not real for the people, he's not real Labour, and you know, and this is in like these newspapers that are like the most conservative, like Nazi newspapers ever. So I want to say is like, if you're a conservative Nazi, how can you kind of question someone's Labour credentials? You know, like really, Anyway, don't get me going about the UK government. That's the one thing I'd say that's bad about moving back. When I was in Germany, I didn't really think about the UK. I didn't think about what was happening here. And because my German's not great, I was pretty kind of isolated from the politics side of things, which in some ways was better for your mental health. And then, when I moved back here, I look at the BBC website every day. I don't know why, because it's just depressing. So I think, you know, that was one thing about living in Berlin, which was good, was you were in a bit of a bubble because you just, you know... Like, I'd try and read the news video thing on the underground. My German was pretty rudimentary, so I remember seeing things like reviews of like Ian Curtis's album because they had Groove Magazine had like a thing on the underground in Berlin, and that was quite funny. I was like, I want to read that one. You know, that's interesting for me. Yeah, Andy, I think I'm kind of almost reading the UK news and stuff just because I'm so bored, really. I think I just consume it because it's something to engage my brain. But I should just be doing something a bit more, you know, constructive, I reckon.
Listen, brother,
Shouts to Jensen Yonk here. Great to see some of the same names listening in. It's awesome. Thank you. So I don't know if you've heard of Divine, but I've got this Divine album. Divine was a drag artist from, I think, New York. So she did like vocals, but it was real club scene vibes. So she was obviously someone on the scene. And the album's kind of co-produced by Jelly Bean. It's got some proper good beats on it. So I'm going to stick something on from that next. There's always some good stuff out there, you know, that's not so obvious where it is, you know? Because this is kind of almost novelty music, because the vocals are rudimentary, if you know what I'm saying. They're just kind of... But they're kind of funny as well, the vocals. The music's amazing. Okay, this record is so warped. Wow. I don't know what's happened to it, but it still plays. Yeah, check this one out. This is dope.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, elementary. B is for boys. Boys! G is for girls. Girls! M is for money. Money! X is for ecstasy. Ecstasy!
So that's proper, isn't it? That's the kind of party I want to go to.
B! Say D! F is for I is for me. Divine! Divine!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
Big shouts to Marcus. So yeah, Marcus is called the Mind and Body Coach. So if you go on Facebook and you put in the Mind and Body Coach, he's just got a really amazing fancy new video made, which is showcasing his sort of fitness and mental health work that he's doing. So yeah, check it out. It's a really, really nice video, and it's actually got a track by me on it. I did the soundtrack. It's an old Hot Coins track called NG Style. So yeah, when Marcus tagged me today, when he did it, I was like, I actually completely forgot the fact that I'd done the music for it. I thought he was just tagging me to sort of make me aware of his video. And then I was like, oh yeah, I just realised that, yeah, I did the music, didn't I? But yeah, check it out, the Mind and Body Coach. Marcus is great. He does, speaks to me quite a lot, by phone or We have video chats and stuff, and a really supportive guy. So I can't recommend him highly enough. If you want to do some fitness, if you want to do some mental health stuff, he's the guy.
Words and letters simply can't describe you. Words and letters simply can't describe you. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, and T, U, V, W, X, and Y, and Z. W, X, and Y, and Z. Z! Z is for zomp, zomp, for zomp, zomp, for zomp, zomp.
Okay, so this Chic album, I think it's called Believer. It was obviously towards the end of their career when they went all 80s. But I like it. It's well shady, but I like it, you know? It's proper dodgy, this. You Are Beautiful. I mean, what a great song title. Deep stuff from Niall. Okay, so folks, I'm going to phone somebody up this week. I've not decided who yet, but yeah. I've phoned up 4 people so far on my show. At Jazz, Ashley Riedel, Jimpster, and Jordan GCZ from Juju and Jordash. And I'm going to phone someone else up this week, so make sure you tune in. As is customary, I don't actually say who I'm phoning up. It's a surprise for you, for all the regular listeners. So yeah, I've got a few options I'm exploring. So yeah, keep it tuned. I'm going to try and do every morning this week, Monday to Friday. Yeah, see how it goes. But yeah, it's fun. You want me to phone up Simon? That'd be quite funny. We could reminisce about when I did a runner from his apartment when I was staying there, and I ended up in Victoria Park listening to a Beatles cover band called The Brothers, who are these little kind of young guys, and they had mop tops and they had The Brothers written on their drum kit in the same way as the Beatles, you know, the Beatles logo. While I drank a kind of like a pint of latte or something from Starbucks. That was a vibe. I could phone up you, Zooty, and we could talk about the time the time when the dogs came to Mad Racket. Big tune alert. Nona Hendrix, Transformation. I love this tune. It's proper greasy. Shouts to Gareth, hello. Well, he says, come a long way since tutoring in Beeston, Nottingham. Yes and no. I've got a bit older, but I'm still in a room full of records in the UK. I'm back in the UK, you know, talking rubbish and playing records.
They're just transformation.
But yeah, believe it or not, folks, I was a college teacher between 2002 and 2009. which looking back, I mean, I can't believe I managed to do that while also doing all the music production and all that, you know, and DJing and... Yeah, Gareth, I know I taught you. Respect. Hello, sir. It's good that you're tuned in. But yeah, a lot has happened since I stopped teaching. I stopped in 2009 and I moved to Berlin in 2011. And living in Berlin was life-changing. It sounds cheesy, but it was, you know, because it was a completely different country and a different way of doing things. But I'm also enjoying being back in the UK now, to be honest. It's very chilled. It's like there's a lot of stress taken away because obviously anything involving bureaucracy in Berlin involved me trying to speak German or doing phone conversations, you know, like phoning up the housing benefit equivalent or something, or the council, and when they speak to you in German, I mean, I could understand 1 out of every 5-6 words. So, but it's also a little bit more boring being back in the UK because I know it so well, you know. So yeah, I don't know, I could almost handle living there again. The thing with Berlin is I don't think you can live there for very long. It kills you. It's very intense on the mind. I reckon I could do another year or two there. Like, imagine if you moved back but you weren't there permanently and you're just like, well, I'm just going to live there for a couple of years. That'd be kind of cool. But I think being there permanently like I was before felt quite strange sometimes. Okay, Funky Town says, what was the German scene like when you were there last? I've always wanted to go to Berlin and live there for a bit. Well, it's changing all the time. I mean, people that live there permanently, like my friends and stuff, possibly would say it's changed for the worse, because when we were younger, like when I moved there in 2011, there was a generation, you know, there was definitely a generation, and I used to go to like About Blank on a Sunday afternoon and I knew probably about 30-40 people there, maybe more. Like, I knew the staff in the club, I knew the security. Sometimes there'd be like Move D DJing there, I know him. So there was a real community feeling, you know, when I moved to Berlin. It was really nice, actually. But then obviously everyone got older. Some people went mad, some people got jobs, some people got married, some people had kids. And yeah, now most of the people that I know that were involved in the scene at that point, they're just kind of like more like business people now, really. They do club nights, they maybe have an agency, or feels like everyone kind of had to get serious. But in terms of the city, I mean, I think if you move there and you're new and you have a nice social circle, then it's a great place to live. But for me, I was always really enjoying going out on my own and meeting new people and just being very independent. And kind of felt like there was a period where I could walk past a club and my friend, someone would be doing the door and they'd be like, "Hey, Danny," and I'd be like, "Oh, right," and I'd just go in and then be there for like, stay out for another day or something. And you know, that was a good time. That was a nice period, you know. But it can't last forever, and if it does last forever, you end up being one of those people that you see who, you know, is at the bar having shots. Every single club that you go to, you see them, they're always there, you know, they're part of the furniture. But I would totally recommend, if anyone wants to, you know, expand your horizons, I mean, Berlin's a great place to live, you know. I mean, if you want to go out dancing and hear amazing DJs and experience a kind of more off the grid lifestyle, that's what I did, you know. I was off the grid, basically. It was great. But if anyone's got any questions about Berlin, I'm always happy to answer them. I mean, you might get a long-winded, tangent-like answer, but yeah, I mean, I would totally recommend it, you know, because all the cliches you can imagine, I did it. I mean, like, all of them. You know, like, if you watch a film like Berlin Calling, which is pretty cheesy, I did. I mean, apart from the mental asylum part, but I have visited people in the mental asylum, you know, who basically have been sectioned or whatever, you know, and I've even had to go and pick up a friend before, you know, and help, like, collect someone from a mental hospital. So, you know, I'm not saying that's a selling point, but if you want to push the limit, you know, Berlin's the place to be, you know. So yeah, just want to give a shout out to the Sydney crew with this one. It's a release on a label called High Hopes, which I got through Hober Mallow, aka Lachlan, and yeah, this is obviously some kind of compilation, I think, of different people from Sydney, maybe, I don't know. I love it, really nice record actually. Not any house on it, it seems to be mostly hip-hoppy, kind of edit-y stuff, but I really like the vibe, like, bit stonery. Okay, Lachlan says Sydney and Melbourne. Well, you know what I mean though, it's kind of got that sort of like MPC, sampley, hip-hoppy kind of thing going on, rather than just some Ableton housey kind of stuff, you know? Always encouraged by the music coming out of Australia, because it doesn't really sound like the music coming out from Europe. It sounds like a bit more isolated, but kind of more of a incubator kind of, I don't know, you know what I mean? Shouts to Andrew Emil, tuned in from Chicago. Hello, sir. So yeah, I think I'm going to play one or two more, and that's it, folks. Sorry for the late start. I was intending to start at 8:30 a.m, but as I said earlier, I went out running, and then I had my breakfast and had a shower, so I didn't actually get started till about 9:30, maybe even 10 or something. It's a bit late, really, isn't it, for a breakfast show? I could call it the late breakfast show, I suppose. Yes, Andy. I'm mate. You know, I'm always up for coming back. I just need to get a gig in Melbourne, and I need to get a gig in Adelaide as well. I need to try and get Sugar again. I mean, I guess it's doable. And then I could do Bali as well, maybe New Zealand. But yeah, I'm up for it. You know, it'd be nice to come and meet all the new people that I'm kind of meeting in Sydney, like online. And I kind of feel like every time I come back to Australia, you know, there's always like a whole new load of people, you know. It's great. I always meet new people. It's exciting. Yeah, big shouts to everyone who's been tuned in. It's been great to share music with you, have a chat. The whole point of the show is I'm trying to, you know, cheer people up, be a bit funny, be a bit silly. Well, yeah, Andy, to be honest, I've never really got a gig from Driller. It's always been other people that do stuff at Sugar. So, yeah, never really gone the direct route. So yeah, I'm going to be back tomorrow, hopefully a little bit earlier. Thanks, Gareth. Great to have you tuned in. Can't believe it. One of my former students from when I was a teacher at college, I guess in the 2000s, is tuned in to my show. How nice. Funny, you know, I've seen a few people that I used to teach kind of popping up on. I'm connected on LinkedIn with some people that I used to teach, which is kind of random. So I know what job they do now. Never music related, unfortunately. I guess they were smart and thought, yeah, you know what? I think I'll skip the 20 years of poverty and not being able to buy a house and get a real job. Okay, so last one from me. But I'm back tomorrow, hopefully about 8:30 a.m. UK time. So if you can tune in then, I might be phoning somebody up. Not at 8:30 though. Probably phone them about 9:30. Be reasonable.
Whatever your actions, I know you're this way. You know, whatever your actions, I know you're this way. You know. I know you're this way, you know.
Thank you, Funky Town. Thank you, Hoba Mallow. You're tuned in right now. You're listening to some Hoba Mallow. Awesome tune off the High Hopes release. I guess it's the first one. I'll look at the record and I'll try and read you the name of the track. Always happy to big up anyone that I know who's a friend or listens to the show if the music's good. And this is bloody good music. track is called Ted. Sounds like it's been really well mastered as well. I don't know who did the mastering, but it sounds awesome. Very, very nice top end.
Whatever your rags does, I know. That's the main thing, is string to the rags.
So yeah, Lachlan, you've set the bar high with this one. You need to be careful what you put out next, but I mean, this is a great tune, really good vibe. Quite original vibe, I would say. So yeah, make sure that your next record is up there at the same level, because this is a great start. Just a perfect mix of kind of stoner vibes, a bit trippy, but with an insistent beat. But I like the way the beat's also set back. It's not like dominating. Production's perfect on this. Local talent, Andy. Okay, so big shouts to everyone. I'm back tomorrow morning. Big